Yo. It's what is it? 2 o'clock. 2:10. Is the guys just mowing the lawn? So what have I done today? Yeah, I guess I'll include that first video, which was straight off the cuff, basically about my coaching business and how I'm trying to put into action certain things that I've learned recently. And man, sometimes when I push record out, I just completely forget what I was going to talk about. But today I had another big rest. I actually slept for, I don't know, an hour after dropping off my fiance to work. Another day of driving down to Hamilton, and yeah, it's kind of a lot, eh? I'm starting to realize that it's actually it's too much to do the amount of stuff that I was doing, especially all of the driving back and forth to different places, meeting people, shouting them like, bro, I don't have any money. I'm just literally spending my emergency fund, and yeah, almost all of the insurance payout is gone. So now I'm digging into my savings. So I think I had like 3 or 4 buckets. Now I'm pretty much emptied one of them, in the process of emptying another. So it's getting a bit sketchy. It took ages to build some of that up, and now it's just starting to run out. It's so hard to get a job, so hard to get attention, so hard to get clients, people to invest in you. And one thing I was thinking about today is like trying to change my whole perspective or energy or intent, because sometimes it can feel like there's a quiet sense of desperation in some of the things that I'm doing, because it literally is like a level of desperation. But I'm trying to release that and kind of just let things happen, but also try to take deliberate action 1 to 3 times a day on specific things. So today's Daily was about how we can waste 1,000 hours of our life in a year doing work that's not productive. So he gave a bunch of examples of all these different people that were successful business people, but they were wasting a lot of time. So like I think one example was Rebecca, who's a CEO of a $100 million company. She had 80-hour weeks, and she had 3 top priorities. Can't remember what they were, but her calendar was full of activities, tasks that had nothing to do with the top 3. So basically she was busy doing unproductive stuff, and then he told like 2 other examples pretty much doing the same thing. So then the solution was kind of 3 steps. I think number 1 was like reviewing your big 3. So, or if you don't even have your big 3, like writing them down. So then your big 3 is like, what are the 3 things? Man, this place is noisy as. What are the 3 things that you want to achieve this year, quarter, month, and then even week? And then kind of basically like every single day that you're doing something, you ask yourself, is this one task helping me towards my big 3 for that period or not? So like if your goal is to, so like using me for as an example, if one of my 3 goals would be to get more clients, then if the task that I'm not doing is helping me get more clients, then it's a waste of time. It's not going to add value. So then the thing that I tried to do today was to come up with my big three, and I haven't actually, I've been so busy doing shit, I haven't actually sat down. I did start this when I was doing my business plan. There were 3 things, like the most important 3. I think it was find a mentor, find clients, and number 3 was finish the business plan. So I guess that's my 3. Well, that's business specific, because then I added health and finance. So number 1 for health is to like fix my routine, my morning and night routine, because it's just shattered. Still, I need to get quality sleep, so that's priority number 1. Number 2 is finances, tracking my spending, because I have not done that for months, so I need to do that. And then number 3 was business oriented, and I think it was get more clients. So those are like the 3 important things for me at this moment. And then in a couple of weeks it'll be study. I need to add study there somehow, because I start my part-time masters, which I was meant to do that today. I think I need to make a phone call with study link, so I should probably do that. There's another phone call I need to make too. So this is the thing, man. If I actually took the time to write down all of the things that I needed to do, it would be a very long list. And I think the fact that I said that stops me from doing it, because it'll be confronting. Because like, let's imagine that there's 20 things on the list. I can't do all 20. I have to pick 3 or whatever. And that's the thing that I'm struggling with. So if this sounds like something that you're going through, yeah, just know that you're not alone. And if you wanna join somebody who's trying to figure out their coaching business, maybe we should chat. That's kind of the other funny thing too. It's when you feel like you're struggling, and then you're stepping into a space where you're kind of expected to have all the answers. It's like, I don't have all the answers, and you don't have all the answers, and that's okay, that's normal. So I'm just trying to change the narrative that it's okay to say you don't know, and in fact it's the best thing to stop pretending, to stop acting in a way that doesn't align with your internal core values. Because yeah, you kind of feel it, like I feel it in my gut when I'm doing something that doesn't align with my values. It just feels wrong, and that's a deep level of discomfort that you can't really shake. And I'm also trying to lean into things that make my skin crawl, because if they do, then it's probably something that's beyond my comfort zone, which means it's probably the exact thing I need to do to grow, to become better. Because like Jim Rohn says, don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. So go about the business of becoming better. How do you do that? Do shit that's hard. Do shit that makes you feel uncomfortable. Do things that you're not ready for. Because truth is, you're never going to be ready. So yeah, it's a bit of a random video. I think I'll slot it in after the first one. Anyway, that's enough. This is going to be a really long video today. So I will see you later. Yo, it's 4:30. Oh, yo, just waiting for my fiance. Sun's out. Hasn't been too bad of a day weather-wise. I think it's sunny tomorrow as well. So yeah, I think I've got a long video today. I think I did 11 minutes and then I did almost another 10-minute. So this should be a interesting one to upload. I think I committed to putting some information on the screen or the description, so I need to do that. I've done 55 push-ups this morning. I haven't done any. My eating's kind of messed up because I was trying to fast, so I didn't have lunch until like 11 or 12. I didn't have breakfast until 11 or 12, and then I had lunch, what time? 2:30ish, so it's pretty compressed. And then yeah, I guess I'm due for dinner when we get home around 6. It's 4:30, I need to get some gas. And I need to finish off 45 push-ups at least. So I'll probably do that in one hit, or I'll break it up across 2. It's been a fairly productive day. I sorted out my student loan. I called this lady that I've been meaning to get a hold of to confirm what's going on with my employment situation. I did an introduction in my master's paper, so InfoGov 701 Information Research. Yeah, that's the name of the paper. So I introduced myself. I'm one of the first people to do that, so that's cool. I'll be the first name that people see, so they can introduce themselves and get to know some other people. It looks like an interesting paper. One of the questions was, what is legal research? What do you understand legal research to be? And I was like, bro, I have no clue. And then I said, research that is legal, research that is not illegal. That's my answer. And then I unpacked it a bit, I guess. I was like, okay, so what would that mean? What would that look like? And then in the context of like what I've studied, information privacy principles, the Privacy Act, information governance, it would be like research that is based on information that was collected with a person's consent, with their knowledge, understanding. So then I guess the opposite would be the opposite of legal is illegal. So illegal research would be research conducted based on information that was not legally acquired, that was not abiding by the Privacy Act or information privacy principles, or it could be information that was obtained through a cyber attack. So a breach, information was hacked, leaked, and then the research was conducted on that. So, in a really roundabout way, I didn't think about this at the time, but I've just thought about it now. ChatGPT, OpenAI, a lot of its information was scraped from the internet illegally. This is kind of a potentially controversial statement, but when I was working with text image, I was using, I think it was Midjourney on Discord. There was a lot of discussion at the time about how, so through Midjourney, you could do a prompt and you could say, give me a red car in the style of X, and you could use an artist's name. There was a court case at the time about how all of these companies like OpenAI and all these other companies had basically stolen copyrighted works, so that you as a consumer, you can literally design artwork, you can prompt artwork in the design of another artist. So basically stealing their work, and they didn't consent to this. Then it brings in the whole like opt-in versus opt-out kind of approach. with terms and conditions. So yeah, you kind of find yourself going down a bit of a rabbit hole when you look into this space, because it's like, well, what is legal? And then you think about terms and conditions. I mean, you basically need to accept or agree to anything to get through the first gate, right? Like, what do? You read the terms and conditions, you say no, you disagree, guess what? You can't use the service. Like, you can't exist. You have to. This is something that I've struggled with. Like, in order to operate in this digital world, you basically have to agree, even if you don't agree, if you know what I'm saying. Like, you fill out a form, it's just all about control. At the end of the day, it's all about control. You need ID. What is ID? It's a form of identification. It proves that you are who you say you are, according to your birth certificate. So there's like a record. They use it to authenticate you. When you call up any service, like I got off the phone with StudyLink, I had to verify my date of birth. I had to verify my full name. I had to verify my address, my home address. I had to verify my contact number. Like, you have to verify all of this stuff. It's based on information that's collected, based on a system, somewhere. Like, I had to update my home address because that's changed. But, create an account on social media, you have to sign up. You have to create an account. You agree to the terms and conditions on any platform. So whatever you use, you kind of give up your right, in some cases, to, what's the word? I can't think of the word. But by being on some of these platforms, by using some of these tools, pretty much using any tool, any platform, the only way that you can get in is by accepting. And I promise you, 90%, I would say 95%, 98% of people don't read and do not understand what they're agreeing to. They just click the button, because if they don't click the button, they can't operate. They can't interact. They can't use. So that's it. Like, you want a job? Sign the paper. Do you understand what you're signing? Probably not. I was actually talking about this on LinkedIn with somebody. We were talking about how employment contracts should be one page. Don't be a dick. That's it. One page. Nothing else needs to be said. Like, most of the shit that you have in an employment contract is legally, provided to you. And just because they don't put it in the contract doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's another thing. It's like, whether they put it in or they don't put it in, it doesn't change the fact that under law, there are certain things that you have rights to. So what is the point of an employment contract? Aside from the unique specifics to that role, to that job, like how much you earn, what hours you work, what days you work, like, aside from all of that, everything else is copy paste the same. Yet lots of companies have different ways of writing it, different, this job that I was presented, which I eventually turned down, I had to sign 36, I had to work through 36 pages. 36 pages of legalese. It was all kinds of stuff. It was harassment, it was bullying, it was code of conduct, it was a gag order, whistleblower, like, just all kinds of shit that I had to basically say, yes, I agree, yes, I agree, yes, I understand. It's like, in my opinion, and this other guy we were talking to, it's like, you could capture all of that by just saying, don't be a dick. Yeah, you could probably simplify some of it, and you might need to add a bit more, but Like, honestly, the amount of shit that's written in employment contracts is intentionally to distract, to confuse. I know that it's possible to write those things in plain English, and that's what we absolutely need. We need a plain English approach to everything. So, anyway, I'm ranting now. I will probably drive home, and I might see you later. If I don't, see you tomorrow.